Back here for the second edition of the Coaches Show. Jayce, Cicinelli, Stephen Buxton, two of the broadcasters, here with manager Casey Dill for the second week of the season for Power. And you started out, Casey, 11-0 for the season, 5-0 in CPCL play. And what's been the key so far? You said earlier that you're not trying to look ahead as far as trying to go for that season undefeated goal. You're just trying to go game by game, 1-0 in every game.
Yeah, the roster is deep. Now that we have all of our players in, all of our schools that we had players playing at have either lost in the regionals or in the super regionals. So our roster is in its entirety for the first time today, actually. So our roster is deep. 1 through 9 are dangerous hitters. We also got 2 or 3 guys on the bench every night that can come off the bench and be the man on any given night. And our pitching staff is deep. On any given night, we have 3 or 4 pitchers that are available to eat up 9 innings for us. All those guys are 80 plus or 89 plus, low 90s, and so it's just a complete roster from top to bottom.
And you mentioned just the depth overall. Going into the season, it was a bit of a concern with the catcher spot, the depth there, and it's been the pitching has been a little thin in previous games. I mean, how have you been able to adapt constantly with, again, guys coming late with super regionals? I mean, Alonzo Reyes even mentioned that his turnaround from getting introduced to the program to being here was pretty quick.
Yeah, so going into every season, I know it's going to be a little bit of a juggling act, especially early in the season, because we get players from large Division I programs. Division I baseball goes deeper into the summer than any other sanction of college baseball. And if you want to get the truly the best players from these programs, then you have to wait for players that are going to be playing for teams that are in regionals, that are in super regionals. Like, you want players from those programs that are in these big tournaments. That means they're playing highly competitive baseball in other parts of the year. So it's a juggling act, and it's kind of fun because you have to be creative with how you find a catcher. Like, we brought up Tyler Nelson from the PSCL to help us start the season, and he held his own defensively. So it opened up an opportunity for a guy like Tyler Nelson. We've had to bring in pitchers, to fill up innings before all of our pitchers have got here. So it's kind of more like minor league baseball, actually, than college baseball. In minor league baseball, there's always roster turnover. Guys going from AA to AAA, from AAA to the big leagues. Guys are on injury assignments, all these kinds of things. So it's more of like a minor league style way of managing. Now that everybody's here, and my job gets a lot easier. So starting off the season with guys coming in and out and making sure we have innings filled and all that kind of stuff is a juggling match. But it's a challenge, and I welcome the challenge, and it also makes it much nicer when all of our guys are here.
Going off of that question, now 30 straight wins. I know you're not obviously super focused on that, but obviously that's super impressive really for any baseball team. How have you been so good as far as, obviously you said you don't know a lot of these players, only 7 returners coming back for this year, Don Hughes obviously the last one. How have you been so successful as far as putting the best starting lineups for each night?
Well, the returners help set the tone as far as how the clubhouse works in terms of how I run the team on the field. Having guys that have played for me for 1, 2, 3 years prior to this really helps me set the tone with the rest of the team because I already have leaders in this clubhouse. So if we can get everyone on the same page with the style of baseball that we play, with the expectations I have, that the organization has, that we are an organization that we expect to win every night. That is the expectation. Setting that foundation and maintaining it makes it a lot easier for me when I've got guys like Noah Blythe and Mark Kirkland and Dalton Thomas and Dom Hughes is back. When I have Kyle Mosley, when I have guys that know how things work around here and what the expectation is, it makes my job a lot easier just keeping the clubhouse moving in the right direction.
Now, can we go a little bit more into that clubhouse environment? You said that your job is to set the tone with those players, and you said that with all these guys coming back, your job's getting easier, but that job makes the players' jobs easier because they said that coming over here, it's more relaxing, it's more laid back. You're not on top of them, nagging them every single day for everything, and it gives them the confidence to just play to their strengths and just go out there and make plays.
Yeah, so that's how I run the ball club, from my coaching staff to my players. Like, my good job is to bring in the best people possible. Starts with the coaching staff, starts with Reed, starts with Sam, and then let's bring in the best players possible. And then if you bring in the best people, if you're successful in hiring and bringing in the best people, then you just have to let them go be their best. I don't have to micromanage. I don't have to tell everyone what to do in every moment. These guys are great baseball players, and they're led by a great coaching staff and backed by a great organization. So everybody literally just gets the freedom to be the best version of themselves, and I think that's how you maximize people's potential. That's how you maximize people's effort, is you get to make this whatever you want it to be that most benefits you and your skill set. So And I think the wins on a nightly basis is just a result of me going, hey, go be great. And if you could stay within these guidelines and you know the expectations and you give that effort on a nightly basis and you help the team win, you get to be whoever you want to be.
Now, one aspect I want to talk about that we haven't really talked about is your team so far this season has been super aggressive on the base pass, whether it's stealing the 22 stolen bases so far this season, averaging a couple per game, or advancing an extra 90 feet on cutoff throws coming from the outfield to the infield. How does that kind of help an offense when they know they have those extra runners in scoring position for more RBI and run chances?
Yeah, I mean, I believe in being super aggressive in everything that we do on the baseball field. Until a team can stop us, we're going to run. Until a team can stop us, we're going to throw first pitch strikes and second pitch strikes. We're going to attack a lot of first pitch fastballs. We're going to be super aggressive in hitters counts. So a big reason why we win on a nightly basis is because everything we do it with our foot all the way on the gas pedal. And we are not letting up until you show us that you can force us to take our feet off the gas pedal. So stealing the bases is just one way that we do that. We are constantly making the pitcher worry about our guys running. We're making the catchers worry about our guys running. We're making the defense worry about how to cover the bags. And until you stop us, we're going to keep going.
Now let's circle back to the pitching staff real quick. There's been, again, it's been kind of thin until recently with a couple injuries, a couple guys being stretched out more than they had to, but there's been a couple games where the starter's gone out there and it's like, hey, give us how much we can. And most notably, Connor Batts are going out giving 7 innings, or out of the bullpen, Thielen coming out giving 5 innings. How big has it been for those guys to go out there and provide the length?
Yeah, I mean, this is the part of the summer where guys are starting to get stretched out, where you're gonna see pitchers stay in games longer. You're gonna see their pitch counts get higher. When they first come in, they're sometimes coming off of a week off of throwing. Maybe college season ended and they take a week off and then they come out here. So you build their pitch count back up. Like Kyle Mosley threw 2 innings his first outing. It was up to 5 innings in his second outing, and that's a little aggressive in building guys up. But all of these pitchers go out with the intention of, I'm going to throw more pitches my next outing than I did tonight. And over time, these guys get 3, 4, 5 outings. You're going to see these guys stretch into 70, 80, 90, 100 pitch counts, and these guys are going to be getting deep into ball games.
All right, that will be all for the second edition of the Coaches Show. Jayce Cicinelli, Stephen Buxton with manager Casey Dill.